If you ever woke up in the morning and felt your heart racing before you even opened your eyes, you know that tight feeling in your chest before your day has even started? If you ever laid in the bed and thought, what do I feel like this? I have nothing to be scared of? Then this video is for you. Because that was my life for every single morning over 2 years. And the worst part wasn't even the anxiety itself. The worst part was not understanding where it was coming from, which made me anxious about being anxious. A loop I genuinely didn't know how to get out of. Till the day I actually understood what was going on. That's what this video is about. I remember the exact period when it peaked. I was finishing my university degree. By every measure, I should have been at the highest point of my life. Excited, energized, ready to start. The whole world was supposed to be opening in front of me. Said I would wake up in the morning, and before I even checked my phone, before I said something, before I did anything, I was already stressed. And I'm not talking about like a small emotion of stress. I'm talking about the kind of stress I used to feel the morning of my driving lesson. The morning of a big exam. That specific, visceral, stomach-dropping feeling that there is something wrong. My day was completely empty, no appointments, nothing that could logically justify what my body was doing. And that confusion, that gap between what I felt and what I could explain, made everything worse. Because at least when you're anxious about something real, you can point to it. You can say, I'm scared of this specific thing. But when the fear is floating, when it attaches itself to everything and nothing at the same time, you start to wonder if there is something genuinely broken inside you. So I did what most people do. I started looking for answers. Over the course of 2 years, I saw specialists, I read books, I tried breathing technique, meditation apps, journaling, cutting out of caffeine, doing more exercise. I did all the things that are supposed to help. And some of them help temporarily. Oh my god, that's hard. Temporairement. I would have a good week and think, okay, I've got it under control now. And then it would come back, sometimes even stronger than before. What frustrated me the most was that nobody, not a single book, not a single specialist, gave me an answer that actually fit my situation. Everything I was told was about managing the symptoms. Breathe through it, ground yourself, name 5 figures you can see. And I want to be clear, these tools have value, they're not useless. But they were treating the surface of something that has much deeper roots. And I couldn't figure out what were those roots. Until one day I stopped asking myself, how do I make this feeling go away? And I started asking myself, why is this feeling here in the first place? That shift in the question changed everything. Here's what I discovered, and I really want you to sit for this part because it might be the most important things I'm gonna say in this video. My anxiety was not a malfunction. It was not my brain being broken or my nervous system being crazy. My anxiety was a signal, a message. And that message was this: you are living in contradiction with yourself. There is a concept called cognitive dissonance. It's a mental discomfort that you feel when your beliefs and your actions don't match. When what you say, you want, and what you do are two completely different things. And that's exactly what was happening to me. Deep down, I knew the kind of person I wanted to become, but my daily reality looked nothing like that. Not because I couldn't, because I wasn't taking the steps. I was dreaming without doing and wanting without moving. That's the thing that people don't understand about anxiety. Your nervous system is extremely intelligent. It picks up on the gap between your words and your mind before you even notice. It registers the distance between who you are and who you are supposed to be. And it sends you a signal, that small little alarm to tell you something is off. My anxiety was not irrational, it was the most rational things about me. It was my body saying, you know what you are supposed to do, why are you not doing it? Think about it in this way. Animals in the wild are not suffering about anxiety. They experience fear, sharp, immediate fear. But once itself, it calms down in response to a real threat, like the gazelle running from a lion. It calms down completely and it goes after his life. There is like no replaying of what happened. It's over, so it's over. But humans are not like that. We can sit with a fear that doesn't exist yet. We can anticipate, project, ruminate. We can feel the fear of a future that hasn't happened, and then feel guilty for feeling it and create a second layer of stress. But underneath of all that, in my case, the anxiety was pointing at a gap, a real legitimate gap between the life I was living and life I knew I was capable of. So once I understood that, the question became, how do I close this gap? And I tried a lot of things. I tried to mentally reframe my situation. I tried to tell myself that I was enough, that I was okay. I tried gratitude practices. I tried positive affirmations, and none of it touched the anxiety because none of it was real. I was trying to convince my nervous systems of things my actions were not doing. The only thing that ever worked for me was movement, action, doing. And I don't mean making a beautiful to-do list and feel productive for 5 minutes. I mean actually doing the thing properly, consistently, even when it was uncomfortable. Just moving in the direction of the life that I actually wanted to have. Every single day trying to reach my dream through small concrete actions. The first week I started to take action on something that genuinely mattered for me. I noticed something strange. Background noise got quieter. Not gone, but quieter. Like a radio that had been on too loud. And here why it worked. I want to explain the mechanism because I think it's important. When you take actions, you send a new signal to your nervous system. You're telling him, I hear you, I'm not ignoring the cap anymore, and I'm taking action for it. And your brain, which is actually fundamentally wired to support your survival and growth, respond to that. The alarm starts to quiet because the emergency is being addressed. It's not about achieving the goals, it's not about arriving somewhere. It's about moving towards something with intention. That movement itself is calming because it's closing the gap between who you are and who you want to be. You stop being someone who wants things and doesn't pursue them. And that shift in identity is what rewires anxiety and slowly builds something the old version of myself never had. Like the deep satisfaction of becoming, little by little, the person I want to be. I want to be honest, I'm not gonna stand here and tell you I never feel fear or doubt. I do, all the time actually. The difference is the nature of what I feel. Before it was this sourceless anxiety that I couldn't name or point, and so I couldn't manage it. Now when I feel fear is specific, it's attached to something real. For example, now doing video, of course I'm scared, but at least that's a concrete fear. I can look at it, I can reason with it, and I can go through it, and I can decide if it's worth letting me stop me, and then choose to move anyway. That kind of fear means I'm engaged and alive, and I'm taking part of my life instead of watching it from the sidelines. And the only way I found to move from one to the other was to act. Not to feel better and then act, but to act first and then let the feeling follow. Your mind is not going to give you confidence before the action. It gives you confidence as a result of the action. Every time you're doing the thing that you were afraid of, you collect the evidence that you are capable. And slowly that evidence becomes louder than the fear. So if you are in that place right now, waking up anxious with no reason, feeling like something is wrong with you, I want you to consider this. Maybe your anxiety is not the problem to be fixed. Maybe it's information to be heard. And your body knows it and just try to signal it to you. One action, one decision, one step. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to move. And if this video resonates with you, if you recognize yourself or someone that you know, just share it. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you want to understand why most of people stay stuck, even if they know what they should do, I made a video about it right here. It could also probably help you. I see you there. Bye.